In the early part of the 20th century, Wake Forest was a town with muddy, unpaved streets, no public schools, and not a single stretch of sidewalk. But it did have Wake Forest College, and along South White Street, a thriving business district with groceries and department stores. And it had Glen Royal Cotton Mill, where Joyce Alford Davis was born in 1917. Both of her parents worked at the mill. Her father was a mechanic. Her mother also handled machinery. Joyce recalls the mill village of her childhood, with its tidy, well-kept houses, as a happy, tight-knit community.
Well, they were like four room houses with a front porch, and we all loved the front porch. And of course, way back there was no bathrooms, but now they all have baths and they've been remodeled. But they look the same from the outside. And they were all painted white with green shutters, and like I said, the front porches. We all loved our front porches and stayed on the front porches a whole lot. A lot of them were screened, and we had big back porches and gardens. We had big lots, which people don't get to have these days in time. And we all had flower gardens and vegetable gardens. And way down at the back, they'd even let you raise hogs if you wanted to. And some people even had cows. And it was just kind of an extension of the farm life. A real nice way to live. But my parents still worked in the mill, and they worked from 6 to 6. I was a little girl, and they come home for supper, and we had somebody that stayed with us. Her name was Aunt Al, and she'd have supper, and then we'd go with my grandfather to his room to count his money. He had a sugar sack. Long bean sugar came in bags, little cloth bag. He carried his money in that sugar sack, and we had an open fire. And always he had potatoes up under the grate, and he'd crack him a pan full of black walnuts every night before dark, because he didn't have any outside lights. And he'd have that pan of black walnuts and pull those sweet potatoes out. And we'd have a bedtime snack and count money and read the funny paper. He could run to the store and count his money, but he couldn't read. He was a dear old soul, but he couldn't read. He died when I was 10.
In the decades that followed, the village spent many years saying a long goodbye to its old way of life. Although Joyce and her husband remained in Wake Forest to raise their family, the mill fell on hard times. It changed hands, faced unionization, and eventually shut down. But led by Joyce and others like her, the generations of children born and raised in the mill village keep their memories of that place very close to their hearts, carrying its lessons and values into the future.
Do you live in the past very often?
Pardon?
Do you live in the past very often?
I try not to. No, the present is too precious. You know, you live in the moment. I try to live in the moment and be thankful for every day.